So today we'll be discussing about static polymorphism with constructor overloading.
Yes.
So you can understand the concept of constructor overloading. Like yesterday we discussed method overloading. So similar to that, constructor overloading. So if I have to ask you the definition of constructor overloading, can you just give a definition of that? What is constructor overloading?
Uh, Defining like same constructor with different type data types, like different
Yeah,
arguments.
yeah, defining more than one constructor within a class. Within a class with different inputs.
No, defining the same constructor again and again. No, ma'am. Like
Yeah,
it is
yeah,
not.
yeah, that's what constructor. More than one constructor. Constructor itself means, so what is a constructor means? A method with the same name as the class. Same name as the class name. That's the main definition of the constructor. Same name
Yes.
as the class name and no return type. This is important. And the arguments. Arguments are input list is optional. Input list is optional here. You may or may not. Means you can have a default. That means with no arguments, or we can say the other one is parameterized. That is with arguments. So that means constructor first point is the method should have the same name as the class name. Then only it is called as a constructor. First point. Second point, we should not mention any return type. Not even void. Should not forget that. Not even void. We can't write void also. Void actually means no return type. But we can't write void also. If we write void, it becomes a normal method. And then we have to call it. So this is the special method which is called automatically with every new object creation. And the input list is your wish, whether you want to take inputs or not. If you don't take anything, it's a default constructor. But if you take inputs, it's called as a parameterized constructor. So when we define more than one constructor, so definitely all the constructors will be of different inputs. Input types, that means input in number or type or output, basically. In anything they can be. So this is called as constructor overload. Now there are some few points we have to remember first. When no constructor is defined in a class. So do we have a
Automatic.
constructor? Yeah, when there is
Yes.
no
Default.
constructor defined by program. So then compiler will add. That means implicit a default constructor is added. For every class there is a default constructor and that too with public access specifier. So whatever is written by the system, it is default and it is public access specified. Whatever system has written.
Yes.
And now when we write a constructor. That means and do not mention the access specifiers. If you don't mention the access specifiers, what is the access specifier available there? It will have a default access specifier. So we'll learn about this concept later anyhow. So as of now, just understand that when we write a constructor without any public key here, so that means it is not a public access specifier, or let us say not a public access specifier. That is, it is a default. It is called as a default access specifier. So that means whenever we write a constructor without mentioning any access specifier, so it will never be public. It will be automatically taken as default. So what is default? We'll discuss that. Okay. Now, when we write more than one, when we write more than one, so that means how will we write more than one? That is, one can be default plus others with parameters. Right? So So how many ways we can create the object of this class? If a class has more than one constructor, including a default, programmer has to. So how many ways we can create this object? Okay, so the
One
classes,
with the default one.
yeah. So if there is a rectangle class, and in that class we have taken only the dimensions, like we take int length, right, and a color. So you should understand that when I don't write anything, this class will have which kind of a constructor?
Don't default constructor,
Only default constructor.
implicit
Now,
one.
and now if I write a rectangle constructor with minimum 2 parameters, then how many constructors are available?
2.
Just check once again, what is the constructor I have to put?
Rectangle is a constructor.
So it's a default constructor or parameterized?
Parameterized constructor.
Yeah, so that means when we write only a parameterized constructor, so what will happen here? How many constructors are available here?
One is default by the system and one is
No. Then
only one.
it won't have a default. That means what is the default when given written? Default is only written when there is no constructor available in the class. Written implicitly. So default is only written implicitly when no constructor is available in the class. Right? So that means what is the role of constructor initialization? I want to talk about initializing these variables. So for that, if you have already written the code of initialization, system will not do it. The main concept of initialization. So if you have written a method to initialize them, then system will not do that for you. But if you haven't provided any construction pattern, any initialization procedure, then system has to write for you or default. Right? So when there is no constructor, only then the system, that means the compiler system, will add a default. Okay, is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now here one more thing again. This, if I had written that constructor. So if I have written the parameterized constructor. Now I just wrote this much and I left it. What would be added the code? I just wrote the constructor, but I didn't write any code inside. So programmer wrote a constructor, but with no code internal. He didn't write an initialization logic. So did this constructor do the initialization job or didn't do the initialization job? Or
It did, I guess.
did a programmer do initialization of those variables?
No, ma'am.
No. So that means initialization is not done inside the written constructor. So who will do the initialization? System itself.
System.
So it is going to write the code. Constructor is already written. Only compiler is going to add this code. Not this one. Yeah, this dot length. What will it do? It just gives this.
Length.
No. That is
Nice one. 0, 0.
you
Yes,
should
ma'am.
write. So if you have not initialized, same law again. Whenever you don't initialize anything, it will come with the default values. Right? But not
Yes, ma'am.
dot length is equal. This will not do. This will get wasted. So that means in this scenario, that means if you have not written here anything, just to prove it, I didn't write anything. And when we create an object of this class, we'll get just the default rectangle. Default rectangle is no values. If I do this, even if I say some 5 over 3 or something, but the length would be right now 0 and 0 only.
0.
Because we have not configured it. Right? Any confusion
Yes.
here?
No.
Okay. These points you have to remember always. Basic thing is when nothing is there, default will be. When nothing is initialized, It will be initialized with default values only.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that clear? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So that means, do we have a default constructor here in this code?
No,
We
ma'am.
have a
No.
So no default constructor. Okay. Now I'm providing one more constructor just to take the length, breadth, and also the color. So this is called as constructor. So we have taken two constructors for the same class. Why they are constructors? Because this method has the same name as the class name. Mainly this is the
Yes.
reason. And it is having two integer arguments. It is having two integers plus one string. So it differs in the parameters list. So right now the second. So we have to write the code. This also we have to do. Otherwise it will not get initialized. So we have to write with the local level. With the local. Okay. And here also same things.
Why, ma'am? Why should we write like
Okay. What is the purpose of a construction? Whenever we create an object, what should happen actually?
initialization? We should do
Yeah, I need to pass my length and the breadth. These values will be stored in which variables? Constructors,
length and
local
breadth,
variables.
constructor local.
But this will be finished no? After this gets executed, these will be lost. They are temporary. They are running in the stack. They are temporary to this operation only. As long as this is running, these two variables are active. Once construction method is over, this will be lost. So the main purpose of this method is whatever you supply, those I have to transfer to which variables? Objects variables. This dot length, this dot length. I should copy it. So this 5 should be copied inside this dot length. 3 should be copied inside this dot length. So how do we write the coding for it? The coding inside is nothing but this dot length is equal to just a length because this represents local. This is the same thing this way. This dot length is nothing but the one which is declared inside the class as a non-static variable. So whenever I say object, we should only get this in the picture. This is a picture of an object. When we open the object, we'll find these things. Object has only data. See, your AC remote has temperature. Always temperature factor will be inside. But we will do operate. We do operations. Doing operations is some time period. For some time, we'll press the button. It's an operation, but it's not a constant process. No? It's not going to be there. Process will start, do something, and finish off. So that is operations. So in that operations only, constructor is also one kind of an operation. Like
Yes.
configuring your device for the first time. I purchased a system. I am giving a configuration to it for the first time in the assembled system. So the first time setting everything in that, it's called as initialization or construction. Okay? So whatever I mentioned, these should be copied into the objects. That is what we must write. If you don't write, it won't happen automatically. You can check it. I'll show you practically next. So here in this, I will not do. First one I do, the second one I do. I'm writing later I'll do this. So in the second constructor, I didn't write any initialization. I just kept it blank, assuming that system will do it. Okay. So how many constructors are there in this class right now?
2, ma'am.
2 constructors. Now how many ways we can create an object of this class? How many ways we can create the object of this class?
Usually mask.
One is with how many arguments? First one is with how many arguments?
First 2.
2. So I have to pass 2. So I can create the rectangle class object by passing the length and the breadth. Is there any other way? Can I create the object in a different way? Can I choose the color right now? Can I specify
Yes,
the
ma'am.
color?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So do we have such constructor? There is
Yes.
already a constructor defined which can expect a color. Or any confusion till here?
Uh,
That means by writing constructor overloading, we are allowing the user to create the same class object in different ways. Means I can take a rectangle of the what is it, your wish of dimensions, or the dimensions as well as the color you can choose. Otherwise, color will be by default black. So in the previous program, I just initialized which variables in the first constructor. Only two variables. I need to even initialize the color. Okay, let us say that in default, I just want to take the color as black because I'm not expecting the it's not a default parameterized. In this, I'm taking only two inputs. The color we are not accepting from the user. So when user does
yes.
not specify the color, I want to take it as black. Maybe I just want to give a black color to the rectangle, outline rectangle. But if user wants, he can choose a set a color first itself and then drag and drop a rectangle. Then he'll get a color with the choice of the customer, whatever he needs. So I am able to create the same rectangle in two ways. One is with 5 length, 3 breadth, and the color is black. But I didn't mention here. I didn't mention because it's already mentioned internally in the constructor. So it will choose the first constructor, which will set the color as
Yes.
black. But if you want, you can give a specification of length, breadth, and as well the color also. Now this rectangle will
Yes.
show you the color of blue along with length as 5 and breadth is 3. Now to see the output, we have to write somewhere SOPs, otherwise we can't see the effect of the code. So just to do that, generally we write a display method. So I do this mention. Just let me directly give just a space and all of it side by side. So generally we use this. Now just to check the program, I need to just go for the display of both the vectors. The first is R1, second is R2. So two differences. So R1 I want to display after the construction tab. Same way I want to even display the R2 speech. So you provide constructor overloading. You are eligible to create the same class object in how many things? More than one. Now you can understand. First object got by 3 black, but second object did not get any information. So we check the coding. The first constructor has initialized all the three variables with the past values. Sorry, the past two, length and the breadth, and the color was automatically initialized internally. If I don't initialize here, this part, for example.
This
So,
will also be null.
yeah, this also will be null.
But there we initialized blue, no, ma'am.
We didn't. Let's see. We initialize, we'll get it. So you can see that first object is also color.
No, ma'am. In R2,
Yeah.
R2 we
green?
have given blue, no, ma'am. Down,
No,
ma'am.
no. Okay. Yeah, that's what. I passed length also. I passed breadth also. But did
Yeah,
we do
there we didn't
initialization?
initialize. No, no, no.
So because of that, it's gone like this. System has internally done default initialization. So I just showed. So we have to do this. By doing this, it will actually come like null here. In this. So I don't
Yes.
want this manner. So we have to prove it manual initialization with whatever you gave. The local length would be objects and the local breadth would be local breadth and the color would be object's color as the local
Color.
So whichever you are not initializing, will get. This constructor is not. Places are not on.
Yes, sir.
Right? So that means this is called as constructor. And constructor overloading also is an example of static polymorphs. Like just think like a registration form. Registration form has so many fields in it. So is it mandatory to fill all the fields in the form, or they will keep some like optional? Some are mandatory with star mark.
Yes, ma'am. Some are optional, some are mandatory.
Yeah. So that means if a user will fill those values, and I should register it, so definitely I should write more than one construct, like first name, last name, okay, mobile and landline. So landline may not be available for everyone. So I can give a constructor with first name, last name, and a mobile, and second constructor with first name, last name, mobile, and landline. So that means there is
Yes,
a
ma'am.
choice. Even if you fill all the values, it will accept. Even if you leave one, it will accept. So for that, definitely more than one constructor should be given. I don't write, we have to construct the object only in one way. Only if you have more than one constructor, we have a chance to create objects in more than one. Is that clear? Any confusion?
No, ma'am.
Fine. So I think yesterday I asked you something about this key, restrictions on that. Did you find out anything about that?
This
Restrictions.
I read, ma'am. I didn't understand, but
Okay.
I
Okay. I'll just ask you the questions, you tell me the answers. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
what is this keyword actually? What is exactly this keyword?
It acts like a pointer, ma'am.
Yeah,
It points. It helps us initializing the local variables to the class
differentiate,
variables.
differentiate.
The
So this
difference.
is a reference of own self, one's own address. I can simply say oneself. An object should know about its whereabouts. Where is it stored in the memory? So that means this variable is present inside every object and it stores only the base address of the current object. So whichever object we are representing, it will talk about its address only. And that means it is present inside which concept? It is a part of class or it's a part of an object?
Object.
Yeah, it's a part of an object. So can it be used inside static blocks? Can I use this
Uh,
keyword
uh,
inside the static?
no, ma'am, no,
No. So this keyword can't be used. This can't be used in,
because it is objects
yeah,
actually.
static blocks or static context reason. Because static context does not connect to the
Belongs to
object. No,
object.
it is just
Yes, ma'am.
above that. It is above that. So objects belong to the context, but context does not belong to objects. Reverse is not possible.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the only thing. Second thing, can I write this keyword in some other class? Now I'm sitting in one class. When I say this class, it represents which class?
That class, ma'am.
That
The
particular
class which
class
we are
only.
setting. Yes, ma'am.
So if I go outside and say this class, will it represent to this class or some other class?
Some other class, ma'am. No,
Some other class. So where can I use this keyword?
only in that particular class.
Yeah, within the class block itself, not outside. You can't use it outside. There is no meaning. So if it's used in another class, it becomes that class's reference value. So
Yes, ma'am.
wherever it is used, it is belong to that class. And what is the usage of this keyword? Just if I have to say the usage of this keyword right now, this
If we
one's,
keep the same name for
yeah,
reference variables and local variables, this keywords helps us differentiate between them.
yeah, differentiates the instance with the local
Different local.
variables with the same name. So simply if I have to say naming clashes will resolve for instance and local. Okay. Now one more usage is, now just assume that if I have written the same program like previous one only, one constructor. Now I'm not writing Java, I have to do. Okay, let me take something else. Font. I'm not giving any specifications so that the font size is 8 and the color is something black. Now user gives a font with some argument. That means he gives the font type and the string font, the what is the face of the font. Now how do we construct this out? So this construction logic is written inside which constructor? Default.
Default. Mm.
So if default has given type as something okay regular and the face has the Arial or something, whatever it is. Default. Okay. Now what about this constructor? If I keep it blank, will it initialize these two values or we have to write the initializations?
We have to write, ma'am, otherwise it will give null.
Yeah, this dot type is equal to type and this dot face is equal to face. So
Yes.
we only wanted this changes, but what about the other two properties?
They'll remain black and white now.
How it will remain? These are defined in which constructor?
Default one.
Default constructor. That means does it belong to all the constructors or this code belongs to only this constructor? Is this code going to execute every time or only during default construction of it?
Only default construct.
Yeah, so when you create, just like if you say new font, this is going to take this. If you write like this, then that font will have this 8 color and whatever, black, like very late. This font will be with the default specification. Okay, but will it talk about the same scenario in the second constructor now? Will it initialize
No.
size as 8, color as black?
No.
No, this code is not a part of this constructor. So that means what will be the initialization of size and the color? Did you
Null, I
initialize?
guess.
Yeah. So here
Null.
in the size will become 0 and the color will become black. Like this. If you don't initialize. So that means did you write any other, that means this construction, did you write somewhere? Did you give a default specification of size and color in some other constructor?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I don't want to write it here anything. I don't want to write. This size is equal to 8, color is equal to black. Did we mention that anywhere? Did we
No,
already?
only in the above constructor we mentioned, ma'am.
Yeah.
Default one.
So I just want to call this constructor. I'm writing, see, as if I'm calling the constructor. This is what I call a constructor. Which constructor? Font class constructor.
Default one.
So generally from outside the program we write like this to create an object of a class. But right now I'm calling the constructor of default type. By which what will happen right now? A font object is created with which specification? With all default specifications first. And after that, what are we trying to do? So that means it will feed up all these values. Yeah, I'm calling
Also we didn't define type as instance variable in the above. No,
No,
above.
I'll declare. I have to write it actually all. I didn't write. I have to write it. Okay. So this string color type and fix. So this will be instance variable. Then only we'll write the new
Yes.
constructor. So that means in the second constructor, what am I trying to do? Call the first constructor. Call the default constructor. So with that, what happens right now? The object will be constructed in which way? Default way first. So default way means what? This way. It will fill all these values back in. Okay, I'll tell you this. Okay. If I want to create a font too with some new specifications. So I said I want a bold one and I want a some button or something. I pass these two arguments. So that means which constructor I invoked right now?
User defined constructor.
This second one. Both are user defined. Both are user defined.
Sorry. Yes, sir. This is without parameters. That is with parameters.
Yeah, because I mentioned the values means we have written it. It won't happen automatically. Yeah? So this is user defined. Both are. Now here I call the second construct. So I passed bold and Vartana to this constructor, which is stored in type and face. And whenever I created the font object, how many variables are stored in that object? This consists of
Size, color,
okay.
face, and type.
This is my object, picture of the object. So your object looks like this. All these things. Now out of that, how many values you passed? Just 2. So these two we have copied into what exactly in this code? Into the object. Right?
Yes, sir.
But before doing this, before copying this into this variable and this into this variable, objects variable, what we are trying to do here? I didn't go to this line only. I didn't do this initialization. Before that, what did we call?
Default constructor.
Okay, just think if it was a display method. Just think it is a display. So what will happen if I say display?
All those variables will get initialized to those values.
So which variables?
Object variables.
Objects variables. So that means by calling the constructor, So I'm able to call one constructor from another constructor. So I'm in the second constructor, but I want to use the logic of the previous constructor so that my object will be first loaded with these kind of values, default values, whatever we mentioned. Okay. So my object of the font is created with which specifications? Default specifications or default constructor specification, I can say. So whatever we have given inside the default constructor, those will be copied into the object list. So that means all the variables will get quickly, like size is 8, color is black, and the face is what. So all those things we get. The type is regular, and the face is alien. Okay. After that, what are we trying to do? This is my object picture right now. I have created the object with these values because I called a construct and it has done this job on your object. Now next, what are we trying to do?
We are trying to give those parameters.
The new parameters, whatever I passed now, those parameters we want to copy into this back and reinitialize.
Yes.
So this will now become changed to
Bold.
bold and that will become to face will become to one. Now this changed. So by the time the whole constructor got executed, initially it stored default values, that means these values, and after that it modified these two values with the new values. These new values.
Yes, ma'am.
So by now the object will store size is still 8, color is still black, and type is not changed to bold. Sorry. Yeah, it's a bold one. And the face has become. Is that clear? So that means
Yes, ma'am.
we can call one constructor from another constructor of a class from another constructor of the same class of the same class using this keyword. Whatever. Right? Or if default wants to call parameters, that is not the correct one, but they can do it. They have to pass the values. Like, so somebody has to call any constructor. We can do it by using which keyword? This keyword.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is like constructor chaining basics. Something like constructor chain. We are trying to chain one constructor with another constructor. So any confusion till here?
No, ma'am.
So I'll just give you two questions. You can try it after the class maybe. So construct the product class in a Flipkart with different constructors. Here the scenario is Flipkart is already a class. Flipkart is already a class and it has an object of or an array of has an array of products. The scenario you have to create actually, but for this it will take more coding time. So today what you do is just take a Flipkart and as a separate class, test class, and just
Yes,
to
ma'am.
write the class as product class. Tomorrow I'll tell you how to take this class. I'll explain to you this time.
Yes, ma'am.
So product class with different constructors. So your choice of attributes. You can take different properties of this, whatever. Like just think like you're purchasing an electronic device or a laptop or a television, something. So you can
Yes,
take
ma'am.
different anything. You just give the configuration set. Okay, this is one program.
Yes, ma'am.
And the second is customer registration. the same way because we'll try to integrate all of them and develop an app actually. So now customer program for registration. To register with various features, different information. So what are during registration, whatever he inputs, basic, don't take anything, few information about a customer. So you can take with different that means constructors. So as I said, no mobile landline. So take some more and try to write a registration pattern so that later we can develop an app of the Flipkart.
Now, in this properties you asked, no, like properties in the sense you should like categories,
Yeah,
no?
no, product IDs. What are the features?
Features, fine, this one.
Product IDs. So properties means nothing but features. Like phone is the color of the phone. Okay, what is the OS of the
Yes,
phone? So RAM size of the phone, anything, battery, like all that. What it
yes,
is made up of, those things are called as properties of that. So just think like if you are trying to sign up for the Flipkart. So if you have to sign up, when you click on the sign up button, so later we'll do a graphical app. So when you click on the sign up, you'll get a form, some
yes,
kind of
ma'am.
a form. So in that form, what are the things it will ask you? So what are the fields on this form? Define a class with the same form, class customer with same properties. Okay, like this is registration. Whenever somebody wants to
Mm.
register with Flipkart, he's a customer. He become a Flipkart customer. Then only he can go for a purchase of products. So that means now we have a customer class, later customer class, we have a product class, we have a Flipkart class, but Flipkart will have both the things internet. This I tell you
Yes, ma'am.
directly I will introduce this. So today what you can write is only these two classes. One is how to define a constructor class with different constructors and how to define a product class for the different constructors.
Yes, ma'am.
Any confusion till here?
No,
You have a doubt, you can WhatsApp. We should say.
ma'am, and also whenever I'm writing programs in Boolean, I'm not like getting it correct output, ma'am.
Okay.
One
What
sample
is the
program.
error? Yeah, we'll do that. First, new topic I'll start tomorrow only because inheritance is a lengthy topic. So I don't want to start today. I will even talk to you, Vishnu, to attend. So that's a lengthy topic and you need to understand a lot of things there. Yeah. So you have the doubts, we'll clarify the doubts.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So you said something about Boolean?
Yes, ma'am. Boolean, one sample program. Will
Okay,
write.
fine. I'll just tell
That time one program you gave, no, ma'am, like regarding mobile number,
you. Okay,
uh, whether it is correct or not. That one will do, ma'am, because I wrote that
okay,
program, but it
okay.
is not showing.
What is the question again? What is the question?
One second.
Okay, validation of mobile number.
Yes, ma'am.
So, as of now, we're taking number as string, but later we'll see if the conversion also is possible. As of now, we're taking the mobile as a string.
Yes.
Did I take string or long?
Long, ma'am, long, long.
Okay, so user has a long mobile. You can accept from the user, but I'm directly writing here. Okay, let us write a program to accept, or let us say set a mobile. Okay, set a mobile. So this is the mobile and the create a non-mobile from the user. Just to say that this dot mobile is equal to
Mobile.
this with the configuration message. Mobile is changed. Just trying to validate. So validation should be return type boolean is valid or valid. So this should just return the value after counting the number of digits in. So for this, only thing is now first we'll try to convert. There are mathematical logics also using loops, that is also there, but I'm showing the easy way to convert the long data into a string form so that we can count the number of letters in using the length function. There is a function called length string class. So for that, I can just say string s is equal to new string and I'll pass the mobile. So the long data is passed to the string construction. So I created a string by taking the long inside. So the mobile number now converts to which type? String type. And it's like a string mobile. I have declared that variable as right now string mobile. Now I can directly say if the s mobile dot, since this is an object right now. In that object we have a predefined function called length. If that
So
length is
in
equal
string
to,
class, we have a function length, ma'am.
yeah, string class. That's the reason I said we can just go through some string functions. So I anyhow discuss one by one important ones every day. Whenever required, I'll discuss the important ones. So string is a predefined class where we have predefined method called as length. So any string object you call and say dot the length function. So it will count the number of letters inside. So now whatever mobile numbers were there, we have transformed that into the string inside double quotations. So your complete mobile number is saved inside a double quotations, right? Now to count how many numbers are there. Now every number has become like a letter in it, like a character. So now
Yes,
I
ma'am.
just want to count how many of them are there using the predefined function length. So if the mobile's length is equal to 10, I can say return true. It's a true value. Else return a false value. Means it's either if it's more or less, I should return a false value. This is one logic. Second logic is using the numeric. Like if it's count the number of digits, I think we have done this. Number of digits in a given number. How did we do that? Previously, I think we have done with loops. So if there is something, I want to find how many numbers are there in this particular loop. I have to just keep on dividing, no? Divide by 10. I divide by 10, what will happen? It will reduce to 123.
123.
So again, because the number is a valid number, again I'll divide by 10. Again it will be
1.
112. Again divided by 10. It reaches to 1.
1.
Divided by 10, it reaches to 0.
0.
So I'm able to count, no? Every time I'm doing division, there is a number counting. So count the number and keep on increasing the count as long as the digit reduces to which number? I think you know how to find. I think we have done in the
0.
beginning. Count the number of
Yes,
digits in a number.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that is the easiest way. Just write a loop and you'll get your answer. So once the loop is finished, take that number and return. If that length is 8, return true. Otherwise, else return false. Okay, can you tell the logic of else? Okay, this is a long mobile and I want to take a count variable. Initial 0. Now while the mobile is whatever number you have. I just want to, while the mobile number is greater than 0, I have to repeat something. If it's more than 0, the mobile can be reduced by 10 divided by 10. And we are just going to do the count. So if it's more than 0, count plus plus, and it will increase the count. Count it as 1. There is a valid number, count it, and then divide the number. And again, While dividing, again we'll come back here. So it was divided, it will become, after the first iteration, it becomes 1 to 3. Then this one, then this one. So close it. Then you can say, based on this rule. So you're returning the count only, or you can make it as length, right? Instead of count, you can take a variable and just make it as length. If length is equal to 10, return true, else return false. Here in that function. That means
Yes,
you're
sir.
writing this whole thing inside the function. Is that clear? So whenever we want to test this inside a variables function, the main function we go and just try to just check, you just want to validate what is valid. So I will pass some number and just check it, is it valid? We'll get an answer. That answer we can just print it in a simple.
Okay. True or false it will print. Okay.
Yeah, mobile is valid. I'll just put a sentence as mobile is valid, followed by the is valid sentence. Okay, so I'm just closing here and plus. So that means we are just trying to test the given number, whether this number is a valid mobile number. Whether this is a valid mobile or not, it will check in here, return the answer. That answer will be printed here, so it will be coming with an answer as false. So we'll get this message followed by mobile is valid, false. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
You can test it practically, otherwise I'll show it tomorrow directly. I'll show this execution. If you're not able to, you just ask. I'll show the execution.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
And this program which I have in Hacker, you can post it on.
okay, you can show me what is that. You can share the screen.
No, ma'am. Should I post it in the chat?
Yeah, fine. You can just post it in the chat box. So, what is it exactly actually?
Yes, ma'am. I sent it to you in WhatsApp.
Tomorrow, anyhow, we'll start with the inheritance topic.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I'm just stopping the